I will talk to you of art,
Yes.
for there is nothing else.
Are you all ready to join me today on our trip to outer space?
Come along quietly or not.
You can have all the talent in the world and never get anywhere.
Some artist will bait a hook and let you bite upon it.
And now, without further ado,
hello, folks. This is Albert Shivers. Welcome to another episode of Planet Shivers. Before I get to my amazing guests, Courtney, Sylvia, and Na Mu, just going to give some quick updates. I have some new art and some old art being shown right now at the Create and Be studio in Stroudsburg, which you're going to hear more about in this interview. I also have art still available on firstdibs.com. You can check that out. Go on firstdibs.com, type in Albert Shivers, and all my art will show up. It's a really cool website. You should check out the other art on there as well. And on February 18th, I'll be doing a set at the Helium Comedy Club in Philly, weather permitting. If I can make the trip to Philly, I'll be there. If there's snow and rain and other Pennsylvania weather, I may not be able to make it. All right, let's get to the interview. All right, folks, this is another episode of Planet Shivers. I'm Albert Shivers. Isaac is back on sound. My Ed McMahon has finally returned.
Hello. There you go.
Together, today, my three guests are a team of artistic entrepreneurs. Courtney Natt was with her background in film work, then shifting to paintings that'll grab your attention and bring it to another plane. Sylvia Thompson, the photographer, whose photos hold charm and inspiration for all those that see them. And my third guest is model, beauty publicist, and astrologer Na Mu. Together, these three ladies are opening a new art space in Stroudsburg called Create and Be Studio. Their first show, Black History in the Burg, which I am honored to be a part of, will be opening soon. Thank you guys for being on the show.
Thank you. I
Thank
love that
you.
intro.
Thank
you. That was dope.
Right, that was official.
That was special.
That was like our first intro ever. So that was pretty.
I was like, wait,
pretty epic.
I was like, it's like, and then you gotta hear like Funk Max and Flex time. Funk Max and Flex.
Yeah.
Do you have an intro song?
I do.
Like intro music?
I usually put it in like editing. But I can play it for you once we're through. This way you know what you know what it what
Need
it
a little
is.
DJ in the background.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, I ain't mad at you.
Wow.
But it is good. It's my own.
I ain't mad at you.
It's pretty good.
So I guess let's start with the gallery and what you guys got cooking. What's new with this gallery and like what made you want to do it? You know, I got a lot of questions.
So Sylvia actually manifested this about last year.
Yeah.
She was just saying how she had a vision of in like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, I was set like a stupid far goal. Like I was like 5 to 7 years. I see myself in a studio space, maybe even larger than that. And the Courtney's like, cool, maybe we'll get there. Maybe we won't. Who knows? So that's where that came from.
Right. And so she put that out there in the atmosphere. And then one day we were at an art, what's the name of that?
It was
Pocono Arts Council.
It was like gun violence.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
awareness or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But it was a super
Gun Violence in
powerful
America show. I think that's what it was called.
Yes.
But a mutual friend of ours mentioned that they had some studio space available in a building pretty close to town, in town, Stroudsburg, downtown, in a very populated area next to the Renegade Winery. And he said, hey, there's a studio. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we like brushed it off. We were like, cool.
That's
like
cool.
we weren't really thinking of it.
Right. And then one day I'm laying in bed and I'm like, studio.
Might work.
Well, right. And then the thought just kept hitting me like, studio. And like, I believe in taking risks, you know what I mean? Like I really believe in like going after what it is you really want. Like no matter how crazy it is, like if it's what you want, like it's your responsibility to go after it. You know what I mean? So I talked to the crew and I was like, hey guys, I was like, there's a studio friend for a pretty, decent amount of money that I feel like we could all afford because, obviously we're growing artists. Like, we're not, we're growing like everyone else, we're young. And so I was like, hey guys, there's a studio, like maybe we could split it 3 ways. What do you guys think? So they were with it.
Yeah. Like, it was immediately, like, as soon as we got the news, I was like, we ran to her house and was like, hey, like, what do you think? I think it's a go. You think it's a go? And then she was just like, well, wait. She was like, hold on. She's like, this is moving fast. She was like, you just said this, like, because we tell her, like, usually all of our, like, ideas that we have. And she was like, you guys just said something about this, like, just, recently, like, it really is, like, here. She's like, yeah, and I'm speaking obviously about Namu, but I'm saying, like, she was really just like, wow, okay, that manifested really fast. Like, okay, cool, let's go for it. And then, like, obviously we got through, like, the hustle and bustle of trying to get everything together and making it happen where we
had some resistance for sure. Like, there was a lot of resistance.
A lot of wrenches thrown in there.
For real. There was almost a period where we weren't sure if we were even getting it anymore.
Yeah.
And we got so excited, we were like, yo, we're going to do this. Started planning events, that. But, sorry. Like, there's a lot of resistance.
But yeah, seriously, there was. Like, we were really thinking at one point, like, where we weren't going to get it. Like, it was kind of like, oh, snap. Like, okay, whatever happened, like, we lost communication with one person, got in connect with another one, and we were like, okay, we don't know if this is happening. So maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But as long as we're, like, prepared for it, money in hand, like, hey, let's go for it. So from there, it kind of just dwindled out. Everything was copacetic, where it was like, okay, cool. Everything's cool, calm. And then we were like, all right, cool. We got a response back. They were like, hey, when do you guys want to come and sign? And it was done. So I was just like, whoa. Like, I didn't think that much could be put into the universe where it's like, hey, you want this, and how quickly it happened, where we're still in shock, I guess. Where it's like, we're like, whoa, this is really still happening. And it's like, we're here.
Yeah.
So, and I think all of us can, like, agree with that, where it happened, like, so fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like manifestation is very powerful, and like I had to keep positive because I was in my hours were cut off at work, and I'm just like, okay, I have to keep positive, and then like towards my hours were cut, and then I just focused on my business, like my astrology, my tarot readings, and then I'm just like, okay, this is happening for a reason, so I have to keep kind of going. And I had a vision, like I kept getting dreams of like 3 of us, like just being pioneers all the way. And if it didn't happen with the studio, then it happened later on. And I know for like 2020, manifestation is very powerful. So words are like spells. So you have to keep being positive. Doesn't matter where you're kind of going financially. So that's kind of like my mindset now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Nice. So really, when I heard about this, so I had seen your art, Courtney, and it was always curious to me, and because you and I sort of were both doing film things.
Right.
We both knew each other from around the way, sort of. Never, not on purpose, but never really worked together.
Right.
Then I started seeing you doing your art, and you almost started around the same time that I branched off of film and started doing art too. Now, I had done art, but my decision to make it my primary focus. Sort of, so like, what made you make that shift from going to film to visual art?
You know what it was? I have which a lot of people know me for initially, is my music video background. So I was doing music videos for a minute, from 2012 to up until very recently, actually. I was still, doing music videos and dibbling and dabbling, but the transition was when it just started to feel like the music videos weren't as fulfilling as they used to be. And it just felt like it wasn't really my calling anymore. And I feel like we have callings at different times in our lives. At that time, yes, it was the direction for me.
It worked.
Right. And for a long time, I thought that was going to be my direction forever. You know what I mean? But it kind of just happened naturally. I think I was just looking at my art and all through periods of my life, I always had that voice in the back of my head that would say, hey, pick up that paintbrush, you know what I mean? Do that painting, do something. But it wasn't until 2015, 2016, maybe even 20, I could be wrong, like 2015, 2016 was when the voice started getting really loud. And it was like, okay, are you going to do this or are you going to do this? So I literally one day, I had a pain that I didn't finish and I was like, I should finish this. So I literally went to AC Moore, got some paints, got some brushes, and I just said, you know what, let me try. And it took me some time to get my stroke back, you know what I mean? But after a while, it felt naturally within like 20 minutes. And it was just, that was it after that.
Gotcha.
And that's pretty much how it started. And, it was just like, you just have to realize that, sometimes, even though you're really good at something, you don't always, like, you know what I'm talking about. Just like when you went and you made the primary focus. Mm-hmm. It's like that. It's where that voice in the back of your head is just like, even though you're making money off this passion is more important. So I'm going to put my foot into that. So that's pretty much how it happened.
Your mind was aligned with art.
Yeah, right. That's, yeah.
It shows. Not
that thank
no,
you.
No insult to your video stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But seeing when you had the show at Sarah Street, that was nice. I'd seen your art on the computer, especially when your use of color does not come through on a screen. You got to see it in person. So seeing some of your pieces in person,
definitely,
from the size they actually are, where you put the colors, what colors you use, everything in art's a decision.
Facts.
And some of it's conscious, some of it's not. Mm-hmm. We know what's unconscious, the unconscious decision of it.
Right.
And what kind of just happens naturally. So, but to get back to my point, seeing your art in person, I was like, wow. It was impressive.
Thank you,
and
thank you.
You could see, hearing you say this now, you could see that, oh no, this is totally her passion.
Right.
Yeah. I feel you. Thank you.
No,
thank you.
Seriously.
And that's, to get back to the studio, like, that's why I'm very passionate about showing people's work, because a lot of artists, especially like the millennials now, they haven't really seen, I'm mostly talking about photographers, maybe as well as digital artists too, they haven't really seen their artwork in person or
it's
blown
like
up.
Instagram. It's for
It's
like
only
social
Instagram.
media. And it's like, it's no disrespect to like, the age, like we get it. But it's like to actually have a tangible, walkable to place where you can say, hey, in small forms, like it's around town, but it's something where it's like, okay, why not add one more? Why not add two more? Where it's like some place where somebody can say, I want to see something cool, but it doesn't have to involve much, where it's like, okay, you can actually see your work blown up. And for myself, like I know as being a photographer, I kind of like started with it in the sense of like doing it like real old school, like dark room kind of training. And then from there branched out, and I never really got into printing out my work when I first started out, because I was just like, okay, like I'm making the prints. Like I was using enlargers, I was doing all that, and broke away from it and got back into it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm doing it digitally. I'm not doing it old school. And from there, I was like, I really, like Courtney really was like, you need to see your work blown up. Like you need to see it like out, like not on a screen, not on your phone screen, on a computer screen, no more screens. Like see it out, so you can really kind of get an idea of like, okay, what's your lighting look like compared to on a high resolution screen, what it looks like in person. So like we really feel the value of that is like untouchable, you know what I mean? Because you don't get that with seeing it on any screen. You don't get it with anything. Like you have to see it out in person in front of you, a few feet away, maybe a few inches away, where it's like you really get a sense for it. You really get a feel for what it is. So that was like our biggest motivation to really be like, you know what, do it. Because it's one of those things where it's like, let's not say a lost art or a, lost dynamic in the world of actually seeing things in person anymore. But for that, I think that's the biggest value that I would take from it, in the sense of, hey, this is why we pushed and we gun to do it. Like that's the biggest thing.
And if I could add to that too, another thing is that like with the Instagram age, there's a lot of opportunities to network and to see your work, to have your work be seen, as in like call for artists, museums, and a lot of these photographers and digital artists on Instagram, don't really see the opportunity. They're hashtagging, they're doing this or doing that, but they don't see the opportunity. Hey, listen, I could show my work and then maybe put my work in another show, and they meet more people. So it's all a networking thing as well. So
I feel like with the digital world, it's not real. You don't see the details of like Sylvia's photography or even Courtney's, like the colors, like, you know, even at the previous art show, you seen the colors, you seen like how people reacted as they describing, you know, their art pieces, and then I'm like, that's the difference. Like you can comment as much as you want on Instagram or on Facebook, but once you see it in person, it's like, wow. You use those colors, and I didn't even see that. Like,
and like even the tag on to like what you said about like the pencil drawings and things, like for her, like when she did her first live drawing at an event in New York, it was like, okay, like for me, like obviously me being her girlfriend, well, fiance, whatever, but like in the sense of being like, okay, like I see her painting all the time, like I get to see that where she's like, you know, picking up brushes, getting frustrated, doing whatever, and then it's like, okay, like some people don't see that process. Like they see the beginning and they see the end. So like seeing that process and seeing that mix, I'm like thinking nothing of it. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, like seeing her live paint. Like I see her do it in the bedroom. That's cool. Like whatever. But it's like when actually people get to see that process, like seeing her pick up the paints, doing things like that, where it's like, okay, seeing an artist sketch something out in person, just like where you see like at amusement parks. Like for me, I used to like stare at those people doing like the characters, like where I'd be like, how the hell did he make her head so big? And how did he even, she stood there for 2 seconds. How did she do that? How did he do that? Like, how?
Right.
And it's now actually being able to see that where it's like, okay, is it blurred? Is it really them doing it? Like, is it really happening in that, like that time span and that time lapse? Like, where it's like, I think sometimes people, where it's like things are so like instant, where it's like they want to see like the end result immediately right there, when it's just like, you don't understand. Like sometimes her pieces like take like months to do. Like they've been sitting on the wall for a month or maybe even a year, like she said when she first started, and was like, oh, maybe I should finish this piece. Like that was there for a long time.
There for like at least like 3 years.
So it's like, I feel like when you kind of get that a sense of being like, I feel like bamboozled, where it's like you think like if she would have posted that today, it would have been like, yo, she did that in a day. That's dope. Like, no, she didn't do that in a day. Like, that took a few months.
Well, not to, like, ruin Instagram.
Yeah. No. Like, he sees the stress in my face now. He's like, oh, I just ruined her whole life.
It's a media that opens the opportunity up for smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
Not everybody's doing it. Probably less people, or probably more people are not doing it than the people who are doing it.
Right. Little quick edit on your phone. There's so many apps on there, and then it's like it's gone.
Well, and
like,
I think also
anymore.
too, like art is being placed by with memes. So like they don't see like who's the background of the artist, and everybody's sharing this like couple, and it was like, you know who this artist is, and not sharing it for the credit of the artist. So it's just like then it gets like that gets like kind of like meme life, and then they don't see the credit of the artist. So that's like, well, somebody drew it, but they don't know who the artist is.
Right.
Yeah, no, I feel like that definitely gets lost like in the wave.
I would be so tight if my art ended up on like 1 million freaking followers, and then my shit wasn't even like represented. I'll be really pissed off.
That's even
because I could have had like imagine like getting on a platform like that and getting at least like 1% of those followers on your page.
Yeah, seriously, where it's like irrelevant.
Even 1%.
Yeah,
that's even with photography too. Like
and it gets real scary with that too, because it's like even like sometimes like I've heard like other photographers being like, oh, they didn't even credit me in the photo, like that's stupid. And I'm like, I get it, like people are moving so fast in life, they're like, oh yeah, I forgot to put the photo credit, like sorry, I'll put it in the comments. But it's like, it's one of those things where it's like I don't think people understand how much that, I wouldn't say hurts, but I guess in a sense kind of. Because it's like, that's something that I produced. I took the time to think that out. And it's like, you're not even, it's just kind of like, cool, thanks. Like, I didn't give that to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I can like understand where it would be like that frustration, anger kind of build up in you where it's like, okay, like, what do you even do at that point? Like, how do you even like, just like, do you take force? Like, do you be like, you stole my thing, like, and put copyrights on everything?
It goes viral for different reasons that you would have thought like, oh, somebody likes my art, but No, it goes viral because somebody's gossiping on this meme, on that meme, and
Right.
it's like it's a different era. So it's like a digital era. It doesn't have no real into it.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it's like, I always think of it like, well, this is stuff that they were doing like in the 19th century, where it was like people were like duplicating Picasso's pieces. You know what I mean? Where it was like, hey, this is original. This is a Picasso. And then it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, it looks like he used similar paints and the brush strokes are the same. And then it's just like, that's a Bryant. That ain't a Picasso. That's a me. But go for it. Like, but it's like, you don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen documentaries where they're literally trying to find backstories of people swearing like this is the original made by this person, and it's like they can't even tell because it's maybe by like a stamp that was made in the same era, and it was like by chance they found that this person manufactured this stamp and it could only be in this time frame, so boom, had to be him. And it's just like that's pretty much what we're dealing with.
Yeah, because everybody takes pictures of your art and then be like, oh, that's mine, I drew it. You know,
right?
Like, or
like
they take it, or they take even your pictures and like, oh, I did this, I took this. You know, I'm the photographer. Hit me up.
Right.
Like it's just like
no, this is from Google.
I got a message for everybody out there: stop catfishing people's art and photography.
Stop it. Just stop it.
Stop.
Go get your own. Hurt.
Go make your own.
Makes me hurt.
Stop catfishing people's faces. Seriously.
And
like she's like, I'm tired of you looking like a Denzel and you're not. Tired of it.
There's people catfishing their own faces now.
Wait a minute.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
They be like, my eyes are that big, I swear.
Facetune and all that.
Yeah.
Facetune?
Let me get the bunny ears.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute.
They got swap face now.
No, thank you.
Swap filters and all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about getting views up and how much content, how much audience. If you wow somebody like, oh, you twerking or you doing this and doing that, and then it's just like that's what people think that's art is, and I'm just like, people twerk every day. That's not art to me. Like I don't understand that. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's just we. I think everyone lost what's the concept of art and what's real.
We'll learn a little bit about you now.
Okay.
Namu. So you have a long. When I was just looking you up, I wasn't catfishing you or like.
It's not really Namu.
Right.
Wasn't trying to dig up dirt, but so you model. And you do astrology.
Yes.
So you have all sorts of facets to what you have going on. So like, what kind of, what brought you to that stuff?
To that self in terms of like all those concepts.
Yeah.
So pretty much I've been studying astrology for like several years. And I didn't really take it seriously as far as like, taking clientele or anything like that. So I went through like a spiritual awakening, and then I just kind of like started like, hey, I could pretty much do this as a business. So it's like pretty much started 2015, and then I started taking very seriously around 2017, and then and I just kind of like even interacting with like other people online, even other readers, and then I'm just like, okay, all right, I gotta find my vision of how I want to present myself. So I even like changed my Instagram name to just Namu Visions, and my astrology is just Namu Astro Daily. So that's kind of like in the mix of Namu Visions. And then modeling, I've just been doing it for a couple years, and then I just promised myself last year that I just want to go back into it because I just feel like there's no realism in the media world. Like I only see girls that are like size 2, size 4, size 10, and then I'm like, where's the models that look like me? You know what I'm saying? So and it always kind of like I said with the pictures, they kind of like erase who the model really is, and like because she has stretch marks and things like that. So I'm just like, you know what? I need to start modeling again.
Okay.
So, me and Sylvia went, I think it was last summer. We did like this like body positive photo shoot, and I'm just like, and there was this pose that she had in the the last art show, and people like they were asking me, they're like, how did you do that pose? I'm like, Sylvia challenged my ass. Like, I don't fucking know how I did it. So it was just like, that really impacted me because it's just like, I'm getting all these comments and people like go, wow, like, thank you for just kind of like having that representation. Because it's all really about representation when you're a model. Right. You know, it's not about like you're modeling for Gucci or anything like that. But, you know, I really wanted to model because I wanted to open up others and even men and women to be like, you know, it's okay to just be like the body you're in, but still be loving yourself and still be healthy mentally and spiritually.
Gotcha.
And what else? And then me being the creative director, I feel like it kind of brings a balance of what we're doing for Creating Bee, because it's like I make the you know, the model comfortable and she has a vision and I kind of like understand her vision, but I add a lot of things to it, so it kind of brings that kind of art form. And so as far as like with all that, that's kind of what Na Mu Visions is. So that's kind of why like I changed my name, because it was just, you know, Na Mu, and I'm just like, that's not flowing right. So you know, Na Mu Visions was just like everything.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Oh my god, I get it now. So Na Mu is like a twist on your first and last name?
Yeah, my uncle gave me the nickname, and he gave me a nickname because like it was just my name is Najm, so it's the NA, and then like Muhammad is my last name, so it's the MU.
Oh,
so it kind of like, and I really like.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
So
that's crazy.
That's fucked up. That we didn't know that.
It is fucked up. I wasn't gonna say that.
That just fucked my head up.
Damn. Well, so much for knowing you. Well, damn. All right. Like shit.
I don't think I ever explained that.
No, you did not.
We need to do these more.
I guess.
Right?
My real name is Clarice.
Truth comes out at the table.
This is true.
Pulls it out.
Damn.
They're like, what? Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna listen. Shout out to Unc.
Yeah, it was my uncle, because like it just kind of like flowed, because I didn't even like even my nickname Naj. I'm just like, ugh. And then because I was growing so much older, and then I wanted to really present myself as like, because Na Mu is very catchy.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm just like, nobody can really pronounce my real name. So, and I don't like when people call me Naj, because it's like, you know, Naj just, you know, diarrhea. But it's like, you know, like, it was like Naj.
What?
I just heard diarrhea.
That's all I heard.
Because
I didn't make the connection.
What the hell?
Are we like Imodium? Like I don't.
No, because it's like the medicine, that commercial, that pink.
Pepto?
Yes.
Bismol?
Yes.
That's not no. Who did that to you? Who made that connection?
So yeah. So that whole name
no
was
sense.
just like, that nickname was just like.
Sorry,
It was a lot.
I had to try to make a connection myself. I didn't understand. I was like, who did you talk to that did that? Like, why?
So I really, Na Mu was just kind of like, nobody really has that name. And I look in between it, because like it means a lot of things. So in Korean it means wood, and I'm just like, that's kind of cool. But then like, I just wanted to have Na Mu because it's just like, I want to present myself to the people. Na Mu.
That's crazy. Damn, I really didn't know that. That's really crazy. I don't have anything cool about my name. I just named after my grandma. That's where we're at.
That's good enough.
Shout out to Gram.
I'm the third.
Okay.
She's cool.
Okay.
Do you have a cool backstory for your name?
Hell no.
Oh. Well,
Nat on canvas or my name?
Oh, let's go there. Nat on canvas.
Did you have
Why
another
is
question?
that? Oh.
No.
Okay, all right.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
She said yeah.
All right. It takes anybody knows, like you just said. It takes a long time to find a name that hits. I can't tell you how many names I went by. Okay, Courtstown, Courtney Lauren Productions, Courtney Lauren Films, Not on Campus Films. The list goes on. There's probably
Tug
more.
Productions.
Tug Productions.
that look
I went by that one for a minute.
I was like, Tug.
That's what does it stand for? The Ultimate Goal Productions.
Okay.
But that shows how even though
you.
it did bring out my personality, I feel like because I'm all about the ultimate goal. Like I can be a little bit of an extremist sometimes. I'm trying to water that down. I'm trying to water that down a little bit.
Water down the extremist.
Yeah, a little bit. Cause
Got it.
We can talk about that later if we have time. But Natt on Canvas hit. And, the last name that I had before Natt on Canvas was Eddie Drenol. Do you remember that?
I do not.
Okay, so Eddie
Eddie
Drenol. Eddie Drenol was my dad's name backwards. Okay. So it was, my dad's middle name was Leonard. I'm sorry. Woo! Sorry, Dad. My dad's middle name was Edward, and his first name is Leonard. Okay. So Eddie Drenol is Leonard Eddie. Sorry, Lord. It's Leonard Eddie backwards. So when I started my official Instagram, that was my first Instagram name, actually Eddie Drenol. Okay. I was like, I said no.
It wasn't flowing.
It wasn't flowing. It was cool. People were getting it. They're like, hey Eddie, people I knew. I was like trying to be like this character, like this mysterious artist, because I never
People called you Eddie?
Sometimes, yeah. I didn't on Instagram. On Instagram. Because they got it. They were my friends. They got it. They were like, oh, Eddie, cool. How you doing today? It got weird. I was like, all right. So it wasn't working. It wasn't doing it for me anymore. And I was like, you know what? I need a different name. And then Natt on Canvas just hit. It's my last name because, you know, I like to use my last name in honor of my dad because that was his last name. So Natt on Canvas, I was like, I like that shit. I was like, that shit hits. But that was a struggle too. Because I was there was times when I was like, should I change this?
Yeah, I was like, can you
I don't know if that hits. And
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, that's another thing I was going to say too is that, you know, you have to keep going with whatever you do. Because consistency is key. And I got a question for you. Okay. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay. I come in here.
She's so dramatic. She said, I come in here and there's blood all over the wall.
I come in here. I am dramatic, but I'm only dramatic with dramatic things. Okay?
This is impactful, not dramatic.
Impactful, yes, and dramatic, I think. What's wrong with dramatic? I'm not wrong with dramatic. I'm not saying drama queen.
You are a drama queen.
Yes, I am.
So very proud of that. You heard that, right? The confidence.
Yes, I am.
I'm proud of that.
Oh, wait. Let's rewind
but
that.
But you say
that
it
was
with
not a
comma
rewind
between
sound.
the two words.
Drama.
That's what makes it.
Drama queen.
Yeah.
Drama queen. Okay, I don't mean like
your record.
She hurt me. That's not what I. Well, maybe I don't know.
You definitely.
I don't know. Whatever.
Anyway,
okay. Let's get back on topic. Okay.
You're like, it's really dramatic. It's very much so. It's okay. It's fine.
All right. So I walk in here and I see this art on the wall, and I'm just like, yo. And I've been watching you like you've been watching me on Instagram and everything, and just the amount of work you produce to me is something I'm just so inspired, motivated, all that shit by it. And I just want to know, like, how do you produce? Because you remind me of Basquiat. You know who Basquiat is. Everyone knows who Basquiat is. Okay? So the one thing that got me about him was the way he was able to produce and stay producing. You have, I don't know, probably hundreds of pieces, I'm assuming. You know what I'm saying? It's like 100 pieces in here easy. You know what I mean? So it's like, how do you stay productive with life going on in the background? Because a lot of times, a lot of people get screwed over by life. And they let life situations. Life situations, right. Life situations.
Shout out to Ed Cartoli.
Right. Shout out to Ed Cartoli, The Power of Now, great audiobook. And how are you able to maintain that?
Well, it's a tough question for me to answer only because I've been doing it for so long.
Okay.
I started doing, but I want to give you an answer too. I don't
want to
use a cop out and not answer.
Cop out.
A long time.
I just been doing it. I don't have to tell you.
I put art at the forefront for me, visual art at the forefront for me.
She robbed me of my water.
You could that Brita container right there. Go for it.
Is this a water purifier?
Yeah.
The water's like whoosh, whoosh,
Yeah, because I mean, all right, side tangent, because I'm a big water drinker too.
Yo.
So they have those that you connect to the faucet, but my faucet is old and it doesn't have it wasn't ordered.
Ours is too.
Yeah, I got you.
So I picked that up at Target. I don't remember how much it was, but I noticed a difference.
Yeah.
When I was drinking out of the tap, or when I drink a bottle of water, or the Brita water, I noticed the water here is not that great.
Yeah, I know.
Tap. Like if I would get to the point where I was drinking so much water that I'd run out of bottles, and then I'd be stuck, not have water to drink, because I would, I'd gone so long without drinking the tap.
No.
I'd gone so long without drinking the tap that I would drink the tap water and be like, oh, and it was like,
You tasted
tastes
that fluoride in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that chlorine. And that third eye calcification up in that water.
Calcification?
Wow. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Look that up.
You went there.
I did go there. Third eye calcification. Look up how to decalcify your pineal gland. It ain't gonna be with tap.
There you go.
It's gonna be with Brita water.
Yes.
Okay, got it. I'm decalcifying my third eye as we speak.
I went there.
I'm sorry, but you sound like one of those videos like, yeah, your third eye is not open yet.
Yeah, she sounds like one of those aggressive people like, yo, third eye isn't open yet.
Listen, I think
you better go ahead.
I think it's safe to say that we're all somewhat woke in this room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Safe to say.
I don't think we'd be doing this if we weren't
This is true.
somewhat woke. I know you woke as fuck. I'm sorry, I can just tell. Like, I walked there, I said, this nigga's woke.
I tried my best. I just love how humble he is. He's like, I tried my best. Meanwhile, his whole apartment is like a whole woke, tunnel into, everything.
You know why he's woke?
Went into his room and was like, where the fuck am I at?
But you know why he's woke? Because...
I can't wait to hear what you're about to say.
That's why I was just like,
you know why he's woke?
Why is he woke?
How I know he's woke?
Why is
because
he
of the
woke?
way he produces his art.
Boom.
The Matrix doesn't have him.
Damn.
Okay?
Right. It is
the Matrix don't got him. Look at how free he is with the stuff he does. Look at this on the wall, man. You know what I mean? It's look at it.
This is true.
I feel like
he's free.
I'm sorry if go off topic, but
No, it's fine.
even this collage here, I could tell.
Oh, I thought that was.
I could tell it kind of goes into it like a story. Like I could see the story in that collage.
Oh, you wrote the first name.
It's like it goes from is God as a woman, or it's
is
very.
that Rihanna?
Where?
Oh,
Which one?
It looks
that
like
one.
exactly what's happening right now. No, it's not Rihanna.
Is it Rihanna?
No.
What?
This one up here?
Yes.
That's Erykah Badu.
Come on.
No, it's Erica. Yeah.
Oh, got it.
You got your glasses on tight enough?
Tight enough. You know what?
How did you thought that was Rihanna?
Listen.
Come on.
I just wanted
Yo,
to
when
make
you
sure.
put this online,
You're not the first person that.
See, thank you.
when you put this online, you gotta flash a picture of this and
Yes.
No. You know
on the
what?
screen. Like you know how you see the cross dissolve and just flash the picture on the screen. A good quality one.
You're an asshole.
I know.
You know what? Okay.
Thank you.
Wow. Ew.
All right. My bad.
But fast forward to now, it's just I don't feel right if something isn't in the works. I don't.
Me neither. I feel you.
I can go a day or two, but that third day, I'm
Itching.
I've gotten more connected with drawing, more so than the collage. But they each have their own space, in
your heart.
creative life.
Right.
Yeah. It's something that I just have to.
You can't breathe without it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't breathe. You can't, I totally get it. I get it. Like, there's times when, I could go into almost like a mini depression if I'm not doing my art and stuff like that. She knows I'm not right if I'm not creating something because it's an emotional release.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's an emotional release. Is that what it feels like for you?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Because and it brings me back, it may do the same thing for me that it did for me as Little Al.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
But now, adulthood brings all of its own, old problems go away.
Right.
And here come new, not necessarily problems, but just different obstacles.
Yeah.
That you're going to have to deal with. And art's, escape, maybe. Or it's just the catharticness of it. Like, I can crosshatch for hours. And never, it's just therapy. So that's a lot of what it is for me. It makes, I mean this in a positive way, not in a dark way, but it makes like life worth it. So I hope that answered your question.
Oh yeah. No,
Okay.
it definitely did. So
see, we're all learning. I'm opening up here.
That's what we do. We do that
because as a kid, like creativity was what I had. That was my thing.
Yeah. Where it comes to like that childlike part of it where it's like, okay, that's something that I did. Like that's my work. Like that's I feel like very close to where artistry is, because it's like you bring in that innocence, you bring in that childlike of that freedom where there's nothing really limiting you. And it's like that open mindset of where it's just like, okay, cool. This is where you're at in that present moment, whatever it is, if you're just free, unconscious, whatever you want to call it. And I think
it's part of your growth too, because you have to like keep it for like, okay, I'm going to see this and I have to move forward, and I think it's just all part of growth and all part of you moving forward. I think it's just like original just equals growth.
Yeah.
Facts 100%.
Yeah, being able to let that go. Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, all my shit is for sale. I was just like you. Like I didn't want to give up anything. Like I would price at shows. I'll price my shit to $4,000, knowing damn well nobody was buying anything for $4,000.
Right now, I've done the same thing.
Not right now. I'm not putting an atmosphere that's never going to happen. Because I will. But right now...
At that time, like I would come up with a price that was so ridiculous
that
if somebody was crazy enough to offer me it, I'd be like, all right, fine.
Right.
Do not take it for $10,000.
Yeah. Right.
Do me a favor.
Right.
Yeah,
like, please,
I feel you.
I'll quit my job for now.
Yeah.
And
now, now it's like, okay, I have way too many, my paintings are rather large, so I'm like, all right, I gotta get rid of this. You know what I mean? I'm ready for it to go. And two, it's the process of letting go as well, like she was saying. Like Sylvia was saying, and Namu was saying, and you were saying. Like, it's all about letting go, and I realized that I was holding on to those pieces because, you know what it was? It was also fear. You know what I mean? It was a fear that I was never going to be able to do that again, like she said. But I realized, no fear here. They all for sale.
and then like, I feel like also because society and your parents or whatever, you should have your life kind of like ordered up at 25. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like,
don't get me into life.
Yeah, so and then my thing is that I'm 30.
Not yet.
I'm 30, but like I had to like really realize that 30 is just an age and just a number. But my time and where my mindset is now is just like, okay, I'm making moves now. But I don't have to be 25 to have my life figured out. Right. Because in your 20s, it's like you're still processing who the hell you are,
Yeah.
It's just a number metric to keep track of time, and then time's not even, it doesn't exist.
Time is only a measurement.
It's only a term of measurement. So is age. Like, you feel as young as you feel. You can be 80 years old and feel like you're 2 years old. It doesn't even matter. Like, it just doesn't.
Seriously.
I was going to say...
It is what it is. You can be 80 and act like a baby. It's fine.
The only reason time, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to project any beliefs on anybody, but the only reason for time is because they want you to punch in and punch out of work. They want you to work that clock until punch in at 5. Sorry, punch in at 9, you punch out at 5.
You live your whole life to say that.
That's why they want you. That's all time really is. It's a measurement.
It's a measurement.
You gotta get up at 9. Eat your cereal before 9:30, get on the bus, and be at work at 10:30.
You need to have your kids by 30.
Yeah,
take a break at 1.
You can't have them before that. You need to have them young. Why? Why do I need to have them young? Why do I need to have them at all? Do I even need to go to college? Do I even need to go to school? Like, what doesn't matter?
And it kind of goes back to the studio because, like, when me and Courtney, we can speak on this too. Like when we talk and then like me and Sylvia, all three of us, when we like, I feel like my energy and like my creativity like it goes like this, and I have all these collective and all these like ideas going. I'm just like, damn, like it's just being in the studio, kind of like there's no windows. Right. And we don't like the only clock that we have is on our phone. He's saying,
and we made a rule in the studio that we're not having a clock because we just, for me and working with anything that I do, like I'm kind of just multifaceted and doing a lot of things. I dibble and dabble in a lot. I just do a lot. So with that, I feel like there's a time where it's like, okay, I can worry about time where it's like, all right, the worldly things of like, okay, I have a job. Maybe I shouldn't stay up until 2 a.m. because I know I'm not going to be able to function and do things I need to do tomorrow. Like wake up.
I'm so bad at that.
But
I never think of morning Albert.
I feel you on that.
He gets the short end of the stick all the time.
Honestly, like I don't even think that far. I'm like, bro, it's 5 o'clock. I gotta wake up in a half an hour. And like for me, like I used to do that. Like I think it was like where I used to literally just be up at like. And I think when I was younger too, like I used to literally like just engulf in a lot of information in the middle of the night. And I guess like maybe my mind was at its like prime time because I just retained a lot of information and I'd be like, whoa, like that's so cool. And like I'd be like going into this rabbit hole of things. But learning and figuring out like, okay, you know what, like having that cutoff line, like, you know what, maybe I'm not as productive as I should be at 3 o'clock in the morning compared to, just getting maybe off of work or, having the day to myself to run my errands and then do these things. Cause like Courtney's big on that. Like she's just like, all right, I gotta, clean, I gotta do my errands, I gotta do this, and this, and then I can be in my creative space. Like, and it's a learning process for all of us. Like I'm not saying she's a master at it. I'm not saying I'm a master at it. But at least I know like, okay, if I do want to do something creative, I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get my worldly things done. Like make sure I'm doing this, getting my laundry done, getting my groceries, getting my meals prepped, whatever. And then scheduling a shoot. Or, sitting down and then thinking up some ideas for the studio space. Or, maybe thinking about shooting one of these guys a text and saying, hey, what do you think about this? So it's like I'm not in a cluster tornado of like, oh, I need to get the laundry done and I'm going to like shoot a whatever and do all these things all at the same time. So it's like you kind of have to create like a structure, but like not really a structure of like, okay, when do you work best? And know your body too. Because I think like when sometimes people like work themselves to like their peak and they're like extremely like exhausted and tired, like sometimes you got to be like, all right, I need to go lay my ass down. Like I need to go to sleep. Like now I'm just doing a lot. Like my ideas are coming out and it's just like, oh, all right, that might work, but let me sleep on it. Like let's not be so like, yeah, let's do this idea because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning and it's like it's there and it's just like take a minute.
You gotta let it marinate.
You gotta let it marinate for a second. Like, just do what you gotta do first, and then let's see if the creativity is still the same the next day. Like, and it's a lot of things too for like when we're thinking about things to do at the studio and in next events and things like that, where we're like, yeah, this idea sounds great, and we're gonna like implement it tomorrow, and then it's just like, all right.
And it all depends
like,
on our energy too.
It
all depends on our energy because like if I'm down, I know for sure I gotta not isolate myself, but just kind of like distance myself and just be like, all right, not today. And then the next day I'm just like, okay, I'm a little bit more up because three of us is a very, very high energy, it's a very high frequency. So when we are in a creative collective, I feel like we kind of bounce each other ideas and it kind of come to a common ground. Because like that's why like in the studio I feel very, if I'm not feeling it, I don't go to the studio. But if I feel like very like inspired, I just go to the studio, just sit there and I'm just like, okay, I got this idea, it's all in my head. And then I'll go home, I just like write everything down, because it's just like you see, you in the vision, but once you like kind of like sort it out, like, okay, this is what my vision is, So it's all about like, just kind of like channeling your own energy, and just not kind of like bring it to anybody else or bring it to the universe.
There is nothing that quite hits the spot, so your family will like it a lot. So when they're set to eat, just give them this treat. Manischewitz American matzo.
People put failure as fear-based too, because like if you fail, like that's part of like you're like close to your achievement, you're close to your goal.
Yeah.
And
Big
people
time.
still put that fear in like failure, and I feel like fear is very weak because like all our fears is really stopping us from making that failure, but for making that goal happen. You know what I mean? So I feel like a lot of people just have that fear.
Their false experiences appearing real.
It's just like how a
is.
baby start walking and then they fall. Like it's like how that is.
False evidence appearing real. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
False evidence appearing real. Yes.
Yeah, and you know, it's true. You know, y'all gotta understand. Like, you know, at the end of the day, fear. If y'all could just get over fear, like once you're not afraid to fail anymore, it's fucking over for you.
Yeah, like
what else is there to be
straight
afraid of after that?
from there.
It's not
Get over that fear.
insane.
Get over that fear. Then you just gotta get over procrastination bullshit. But let's go with fear first. Because procrastination is a big thing too.
It's
I
right
do
in a
it.
close second.
It's
A big close second. I think
Dude.
they're brothers.
procrastination, dude.
They're
Like
real
It's very
close.
you
close.
can
Very close.
your brain. You know, people don't even understand. Like your brain will trick you into procrastination. Like you in the stupidest
And then bring
ways.
fear into it. It'll be like, I can't do this right now because I have things to do. So I'm gonna do this instead, and then be like, oh, wait, I can't do that because I fear it's not gonna come out the right way. And you're just like, what the fuck?
People will procrastinate to procrastinate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a vicious cycle.
And I feel like fear and procrastination because like once you have that fear, you procrastinate and then you get back to your comfort zone. It all plays out.
Get comfortable. Don't fear outside the box. Be outside the box.
You gotta hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying like, you know, like the hustle. Everybody got their own hustle. Some people hustle hard. Some people can hustle very easy. You know what I mean? So like there's different levels to hustling. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about going and selling drugs. For anyone who might be listening to this, you know, I know how the internet is. Like, is she talking about selling drugs? No, I'm not.
Don't be a plug for nobody.
I'm talking about hustling. I'm talking
Don't do
about
it.
you know, being able to try new things and like make it work. You know, and hustling could just be doing something 5 minutes a day. At least you did it for 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to be 5 hours every day yet. You know,
a little bit goes a long way. That's not a joke.
There was a time when I was still living at home, like, I would tell myself, okay, I'm fucking tired today, but I'm going to just put this paintbrush on the canvas just to say that I did something today, you know, to keep the consistency. And then I'd be like, oh, that felt really good. Let me do another, the next thing you know, I'm standing up on my paints and shit. You know what I mean? Like, so you could say, the trick is, if you have a procrastination issue, try this one day, okay? Try this today or as soon as possible. Tell yourself, I want to do it for 3 minutes. And I guarantee you that 3 minutes is going to turn into longer than 3 minutes.
Boom.
And then keep doing that every day. I'm going to do it for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, 3 minutes. And just do that shit for like a week.
And see how far you
see what
get.
happens.
Yeah. It's powerful.
One more thing. I knew somebody that told me that he wanted to start a fashion company. He wanted to design some clothes. I said, yo, let me see your sketches, right? So he pulls out this sketch, and it's fire, like it's a pair of pants. I was like, well, how long has it been since you sketched anything? He said 11 years.
Oh.
11 years. I said, so you sketched 11 years ago?
Wait.
Yes. He said, yeah.
Wait.
I'm like, why have you waited 11 years? Do you understand how crazy that sounds?
What do you mean?
Why the hell are you waiting 11? And you're still waiting, knowing it's been 11 years.
They're waiting for the right moment.
No,
that's what
he's procrastinating for 11 years.
They're waiting for the right moment. That's
procrastination will fuck up your whole shit
because you're waiting for the right moment. You're thinking
and it's like good, but you gotta understand too. Like out of those 11 years, he might have went through something mentally, or went through something financially where he had to bounce back from his things. Like you just never know what a person you know.
That's true.
What my mindset is going, because
out of those, he's just
out of those 11
for 11 years.
Because like out of those 11 years,
that he's
you know,
been through.
They probably went through like just piggyback of what you said about with your music videos.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't feel like your music videos was just like impacting you or bringing you your creative zone, or you know, it wasn't your passion anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why you went back to art. So out of those 11 years, he probably went through depression. He probably went through something traumatic to where like he couldn't even like draw. So sometimes sometimes it's always it's out of those 11 years. I bet you like when he sketched that, it was probably like he was in his zone. He was creative, but now he's getting back to his vision. Now he could just start creating what he wants. You know,
that's true.
And so that's why time is only a measurement. It doesn't really exist.
Yeah, and I'm not doubting that like something could have happened traumatic, because like a lot of traumatic shit has happened to me. Like my dad passed away in 2012. That's something that actually made me want to go forward in my life. That was something that made me want to cope. I could have went down this path, but I went down this path. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
a lot of those things kind of like set you straight, especially with deaths, because a lot of things, even for myself, like it definitely, like, obviously the similarities in it was that my mother passed in 2015, and from that kind of brought me into my creativity a lot more than what I was doing before, like progressing you into a butterfly kind of thing, where it's procrastination, yes, but you have to also kind of be real with yourself and call yourself out on your shit and be like, all right, am I procrastinating? Right. Am I, you know, putting this off to the side, being like, oh, I should just take a nap right now? And it's just like, no, motherfucker, you're not tired. Get up and get painting. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Right. Like, what's really there? Like, or are you saying like, you know what, I'm really sad today. Like, I lost my mom. I lost my dad. Like, I just kind of want to take a mental health day. Like, just, you know, there's a difference between that. Like, because I know a lot of people can relate to being like, all right, maybe I'm just sad today. Maybe I don't want to do shit. That's not procrastination. That's taking care of yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, right, yeah. That's not, like, there's a fine line between that, and I don't want there to be any confusion of people being like, oh, nah, like, I can't sit down and be sad today. Like, I'm procrastinating. Right. Like, no, your mental health comes first. Like, make sure that you're not just pushing through shit just to be like, oh, yeah, like, I'm being lazy today. Like, no. Right. There's a line. Like, either you're being lazy or you're really trying to take care of yourself. Like, it's one or the other. Right. So, like, don't think that you having a rough day is you procrastinating. Like, don't take that, you know, you're taking some time out for yourself and doing self-care is procrastinating. Like, right. There's a line between, okay, taking a minute to do some of your stuff, like she said, like, take 3 minutes to be like, all right, cool, I'm gonna pick up this paintbrush, I'm gonna pick up my camera, I'm gonna maybe watch a YouTube video, educate yourself. Like, if it's not an action of some sort, just take it lightly, I would say. Because it's like sometimes
burnout is real. Burnout is real.
Yeah, like it's a real thing. Like, because when you're really feeling like, oh, I'm procrastinating, like, oh, I gotta do, and then it's like you don't even know what you've done. And like, and sometimes it's a great thing. Like, sometimes, you know, people create mass amounts of work with, you know, times of being like, yo, just complete solitude, just pushing, just hustling, like she said, just doing their thing. But like, sometimes where there's moments where it's like, okay, you doing that to get you through something? Are you doing that to cope? Are you doing that to, you know, keep yourself from the mainstream of taking care of yourself? Like, and sometimes you have to draw that line of like, all right, am I doing this till I'm tired, till I'm sick, till I'm doing all these things to keep myself from dealing with my own emotions? Or am I doing it so I'm not procrastinating? Am I doing it so, like, you kind of have to, like, check in. Like, you got to just be, like, real with yourself and be like, why am I doing this right now? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Like, and be like, okay, cool, I'm doing it for the fuck of it. I'm doing it for the fun of it. Like, I'm doing it because, you know, I want to embrace this today. So, like, I think that just bringing that awareness to that, so it's like, it doesn't sound so harsh and like, like, don't procrastinate, don't.
And what I wanted to say too, in regards to the guy with the pants and the designs, like, you know, like I said previously, like, I'm not saying that there wasn't that couldn't have been like, you know, a mental health issue, like, or anything like that. But in that particular case, I wanted to say is that it was because he didn't believe that it was possible. Right. You know, that's why he procrastinated for 11 years. You know what I'm saying? It's because like, he didn't believe that was something that he could make a living off of. That wasn't something that he had the inspiration around him to say, hey, listen, like, you can do this. You know, family background, some, like, you know how it is, like, this family that tell you you have to do this, you gotta do that, and you live up to that expectations.
Right.
And sometimes they have the best interests for you, but that's not something that's the best for you. You know what I'm saying? So like mental health is so important. You know, taking care of yourself is important. I've experienced burnout 3 times in 2019 where I had to. But sometimes sometimes you push yourself to see how far you can go. Yeah. And then when you hit that limit, you already know, okay, that's my limit. And you gotta respect that limit.
There's only so many sleepless nights. There's only so many starving days. Like there's so many things where, like I said, you really have to check in, and like I think that's just the biggest thing, because sometimes you really have to, like she said, like with that false expectation of what you're looking to do, like.
I'm not gonna get too far into this, but there was a point in time, I don't know if you knew, but I was doing paint and sips in Allentown. Yeah. And my first show, I had to stand in front of 28 people, I think it was.
It was 28.
My first time doing a paint and sip. And
that was the funniest experience of my life.
It was, I remember, and you have to go on a microphone, you gotta like play music, you gotta be able to entertain.
She's so dramatic.
I am not dramatic.
She said you gotta go on a microphone, you gotta entertain people. It's like painting in front of 28 people and instructing them how to do it, teaching them how to do it.
It's not that simple.
But no.
Because you have to be a comedian, DJ, and an artist and a teacher at the same time.
Wait a minute. A comedian?
Yes, you have to entertain them.
A comedian?
Yes, you have to entertain.
Did you say any jokes?
Yes, I did. We played a game called Pinky, and you made it up.
Oh, I did. I was like,
you were there too.
Take a drinky. They was like, got you, sis. I was like,
you were there. You made up the game.
I was there.
So you gotta do all these things. Long story short, I tried something and I got a really bad review. I got like a 0-star review on my first one. One review said, "I will never, ever, ever go to another paint and sip like that again with that particular artist."
And I was like, I thought we were cool.
That's a little harsh.
It was harsh.
It was really harsh. Like she was very upset.
I was crushed. And I was like,
you saw the dramatic. I was crushed.
I was like, see you next week. And I tried it again.
Yeah.
I went back and then my reviews got better. Then I got a 3-star.
And then they were like, oh my gosh, like they're the best collab ever. Like they're so great. They're so fun. And we're like, damn, like we were really worried about that one review because like she did phenomenal for her first try at it. And it was like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like she was like, you know, like, oh my gosh, like how am I going to do this? I was like, bro, just have fun. Like just do it. Like just fucking do it.
Nah, I screwed up in the first 5 minutes.
It was literally like, she was like, hi, my name is Courtney. And let's get started. Like it was supposed to be like, she was supposed to do this intro. And then she just like X-nayed the fucking intro. Looked at me in the back of the room and was like, and let's paint. I was just like,
and I just turned around and I just got to it.
I was like, bro,
I screwed up.
I was looking at her like, you said nothing that you said you were gonna fucking say. Like, what are you doing?
I will never forget the fear pulling into that parking lot, and I was just like, turn around now. I just wanted to cancel it. I actually cried real tears in the parking lot before I went. And I listened to The Wiz, my favorite album. Not Wiz Khalifa, The Wiz with Michael Jackson and Diana Ross.
The Wiz.
I just watched that last night.
That is my favorite movie.
That thing is going to inspire you. You have to watch it again.
Oh, no, well, my mother was big into that movie.
Yes.
I was a little kid. And the garbage cans scared the hell out of me.
Bro,
yo, I'm gonna I'm about to join the garbage cans.
You have to understand the whole when the thing comes out. Yo, that was Yes. Yeah. That scared the shit out of me.
No. Thank you, because I got my next painting.
Fuck that. Oh, wow. That accordion
thing
scared
the
hell out of me. Movie. I watched that thing on VHS, and my brother, was like, yo, you have to watch this. This is the original. It's better than The Wizard of Oz. Like, you have to watch it. And I was like, all right, cool, got it. Got to that part, never watched the movie again. Couldn't do it until I got older, and I was like, oh, okay, let me get past the accordion part. And I was like, damn. As a kid, that shit is scary as hell. Like, why is that thing coming out of the garbage? Like, why is it chasing them? Like, where did that part even come into the compass of the story?
When those
I didn't
wires
understand.
come down and are electrocuting Nipsey Russell.
Right. That's what I'm about to. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh my god. I could not. I was
like, wait,
not Richard Pryor.
Wait.
Nipsey was not in the Wiz.
Nipsey Russell.
What?
Nipsey Russell was in The Wiz.
Yes. But that part right there, man, I couldn't do it. That part scared everything out of me. I still, to this day, have visions of it, and I still don't get it. Like, they used to wake me up in the middle of the night. That was a very scary time.
I
couldn't watch The Wiz after that.
Movie.
Yes, you do.
That movie has gotten me through the most hardest times in my life. Okay?
She compared me to Dorothy when she first met me. She was like, because I got these pair of, I was very happy about them. I was at Kate Spade and I got these sparkly little Kate Spade tennis shoes. And they're like sparkly and they just literally, it's Keds with glitter. And literally I was like, yeah, I feel cool in these. Like, I love these. These are awesome. And then I walked to her down the driveway. I'll never forget it. She was just like, you're my dream come true. You're my Dorothy. And glitter slippers. I was just like, she was like, you're like Diana Ross. Like, you're just
this is your first met too.
Yeah, she was
when
like,
y'all first met.
Yeah, it was. I think it was your birthday or something like that, where you were like, "This is everything." I was just like, "Wow." No, you were very much sober, and I had an afro at the time.
She is spilling on tea.
Very much sober.
Spill that tea, baby.
And literally, it was like she was like, "You have the afro, and you have the sparkly shoes." She's like, "Oh, I feel at home." I was like, oh, boo. You used the quote from The Wiz of her obviously singing Home, and that's like her favorite song. So, like, she'll go off on a whole tangent of why she loves this movie and how and why.
And I'm not going to get into it just because, like, there's levels to it. And, like, I just think that movie is so amazing. Like, just because of the way Dorothy triumphed and she got through it, and she went and she was in this place where she's like, what the hell is this? Like, I just want to go home, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's garbage cans coming at me.
The way she explained it in
there's
modern
puppets
way.
popping
I
off
just
the
want to
walls.
go home, dude.
I fell off the ceiling. Like, come on.
What? Oh, yeah, she did.
You remember?
Yeah, she did.
But meanwhile, Glenda, the Good Witch of the South, put her through that. And I feel like that's like what this, you know, if anyone here is spiritual, whatever, you know, the spirit guides put her through that.
Yes.
And I believe that, I'm getting deep now, but, you know, we incarnate on Earth with a mission. And before we come here, we already know what we're doing. Mm-hmm. And you're like, hell yeah, I got this. What? But you got to forget everything. You got to get away. Okay, you got this? You forget everything. And then you come here and you're like, God damn it.
It's true.
And then when you die, and then when you die, you go back to spirit, and they just like,
what did you learn?
And you're like, yo, send me back.
Listen,
send me back.
I mean, you get sent back because you didn't learn lesson the first time.
You send yourself back
because you want to
learn.
This
is getting spiritual.
I'm just saying, it's all good though.
You send yourself back. You know what I mean? Because you're like, because when it's a different realm. You know what I'm saying? So when you spit, you're like, yo, what happened? What happened when send me back? Nah, I can't. I can't go out like that.
What
and
you
then you pop out of the
goes
womb.
Out like that? What?
And
Wait
you pop
a minute.
out the womb and you're like, why'd I come here again?
Is that how you sounded when you came out of the womb?
Listen, I was woke. Right? Wow. I was woke young.
Out of the womb?
Probably.
Oh.
When you get out the womb, your third eye is fully open.
Do you remember coming out of the womb?
Hell no. I remember being very young and feeling emotions of like, you know, feeling other people's pain around me, being an empath.
That's a big thing. Like that first experience of empathy.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and you know what? It was very hard for me to deal with, and at some point, I had to figure out a way to shut it off. Because as kids, our main goal is to survive. So you're gonna do what you gotta do to survive. So I shut that empathy off because I would feel these feelings of like, if someone felt guilty, I could feel their guilt. If someone felt sad, I could feel their sadness.
And it kind of makes you sad.
Made me sad.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, okay, it's time to turn that empathy. You know, now I can handle it now as an adult because I know what it was. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, you close your heart, you know, because you come into this world pure, and then like, you know, you have unconscious adults around you telling you you're this, telling you that. You know, people not knowing what they're talking about. You got to do this way, that way, and you got to be this way. You got to be strong. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I mean, I think with that too, like sometimes you have to understand with people and their experiences, they only tell you what they know. And you have to say that's valid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, my parents were assholes because they put these beliefs on me and blah, blah, blah.
But as a kid, you don't know that.
Exactly.
You
and
don't
that's
know that.
really, and I think that's when it comes down to when you get to that time concept of when you become an adult and you understand, like, okay, your parents are only speaking from what they knew. Your friends are only speaking from what they know. Like, they cannot say that they've lived in your shoes and are able to give you that same experience of saying, you know what, I get it. I know why you're toying with this idea of like, oh, striving artist, or, you know, you're going to live on the street if you're an artist. Like sometimes people have those mental constructs of, okay, you know what, you have to accept that they've experienced what they've experienced. They have their mindset of how things go, and you have to say, all right, you know what, that's not coming from a malicious place. Some people are, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there's not energy vampires out there. I'm not saying that there's not people that are out there to have the worst intentions for you in the world, as whatever the case may be.
So before we wrap up, let's plug the space a little bit in the studio. So you guys have a show coming up real soon.
Yes, we do.
Real soon.
February 20th is the date. And I believe it's from what time?
6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at obviously at the studio. Also, submission is next week on February 4th and 5th between 12 and I think 3 or 5 p.m.
We have it on the flyer.
Yeah, it's on the flyer, and just go check that. If you got me on Instagram, it's at Natt on Canvas, and all the information is in my bio if you want to know more about it.
As well as all three of our bios. We probably have it in there as well.
Shot by
Syl and Na Mu Vision.
But I'm sure we're going to also shout that out at the end, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know how y'all do. I know how to podcast. I know what y'all do. But
do you really?
Of course.
Do you really know how Albert does it?
You know what?
Do you know how it really goes on Planet Shivers?
Of course I know how it goes on Planet Shivers. Come on. Keep that. Come on.
He almost spit his water out.
Oh,
okay.
On the mic, that beautiful mic.
Right.
What?
It almost reminds me, never mind, I was going to say The Wiz and the never mind. Yeah, so we have a show.
What does it remind you of?
Don't you remember Richard
Pryor go anywhere
The
past
Wiz,
this. What does it remind you of?
When they finally got to The Wiz, and he was like, so, you wanted to meet the wizard. Step forward. That's close enough.
And done. And cut.
I know the whole entire movie. I know every single lyric.
He had that walk.
Word.
He had like that walk, like.
Okay. I gotcha. I'm not gonna stay on The Wiz for too long though, because like I
You've
won't
been
stop
on it
talking about
for
it.
the half of the
because
show.
I love that movie. Like
even
the way Dorothy like brought her friend
and then she goes back at it again.
Because it's the fact that it's such an emotional movie, because at the end of the day, look at this person. Dorothy was so freaking scared. She was shook to be in Oz. Like, what the fuck is this shit? I want to go home. That's all she kept saying. Soon as I get home, in tears. She was in tears the entire movie, but she still had the wisdom and the courage and the love to take these people with her, even though she was scared. She's like, "Come on, come with me. I don't want to like ease on down the road in this creepy neighborhood by myself. Come with me." But at the end, when she found out that the Wiz was a piece of shit and he wasn't real, he was like, what? If y'all can see this expression on her face, when she found out that he was a freaking fraud, she still had the courage to tell them, y'all know the story. What did the Scarecrow want? The Scarecrow wanted the brain. The Tin Man wanted a heart. And the Lion wanted some courage. So at the end, after all that, knowing damn well that she probably was never going to get home, she still had the heart to tell them, you had everything you needed all along.
Because she had courage, heart, and a brain to help.
Right.
I didn't even see it. That whole subway thing.
Bro.
Terrifying.
Fucking scary.
As terrifying as it is, though, I'm watching, and the Lion's saving everybody. I was like,
exactly.
I don't remember any of that. I remember
exactly.
Thing.
Yeah, the subway scene was so. Those big pillars in the subway.
I remember them very.
They're ripping off and they're walking towards you. Yep. Can you imagine that?
I still imagine it. It's
terrifying. Terrifying.
It's very scary.
The garbage can tried to eat Michael.
I never look at New York subway stations at the same ever.
He's like.
That's gonna be a part of the intro too. That's definitely gonna be it.
I wish we could flash that scene across the screen. That would be hilarious. You see Michael in the garbage arm in the garbage can. He's like, "Help me, Lion!" Lion's like, "Here I come!" Rips the garbage
He
can
ripped
off.
the cans off. He pulled the wires out of Nipsey's neck.
Yes.
He'd go and he beat those pillars up and
Yes.
got Dorothy out.
Right.
I couldn't even get that far. I
Right.
was very terrified by that thing. I couldn't do it.
That freaking thing that was growing in the subway.
It was yellow and orange, and it
Those
just
puppets.
oh god, I can't do it. I think that's why puppets scared me at one point in life. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
My
Back
bad.
to the studio,
Yeah, okay.
and
Yeah.
'cause
So
I can't.
we have a lot of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
This is just the beginning, and technically we're open but you know, you can come by and see it. You know, we're still taking general submissions. We have
setting up.
Right, we have a general submission entry right now that's on our Facebook page.
So it doesn't have to be anything directly correlated with Black culture.
Right. So the Black Culture in the Berg 2020 show. She hates when I say that. Sylvia hates when I say 2020
because she just says
like we're not in the year.
She just thinks everybody forgets what year it is.
The reason why
if you
I
didn't
say
know, it's 2020. So the 2020 show,
right,
2020. That's literally how she does it every time with the intro.
She can't stand it.
She just says it in so many sentences.
She can't stand it.
Can't do it.
So basically, the theme of the show is Black culture and the expression of Black culture, and showing emerging Black artists in honor of Black History Month. But anyone is welcome to submit pieces. So if you're white, Black, Albanian, you know, whatever you are, you're allowed. Did I say that wrong? Whatever race you are, ethnicity, you can bring some pieces down if you want to celebrate Black culture. So it's not just a celebration of Black culture. It's gonna be a fun night. You know, the only real requirements there are is that it's a $20 entry fee, and
no judgments welcome
to submit the art.
Right, it's a $20 it's a $20 submission fee. Right, not to get in to get in our reception, but there's a thank you for that. There's a $20 submission fee, and you can submit up to 4 pieces, no larger than 40 by 40.
The art reception is free.
And yep, it's free, and they just need to be able to be hung on the wall. They just need to be ready for hanging, basically. So if you have prints, frames are preferred. If you could find some other way to hang them, as far as dry mounting and things like that,
whatever you gotta do to get it on a hang, something, do it.
If you're bringing a canvas, just in your canvas is not framed, just make sure that the edges are painted and they presentable and professional. And yeah, we're gonna rock and roll. So
we out here.
Yep, like I said, everything's on my bio.
Everything is on all of our Instagrams. You can click on the link in our bio, and it will be there. Applications, general submission, Black and culture. Any reminders that you need, we'll be posting it all month until then. So either way, don't miss it.
And it's gonna run until March 6th. And our reception is the 20th of February. That was a lot of information, but like I said, if you're following us on Instagram, Facebook, everything is going to be. We're going to flood the internet. We're going to flood Facebook, Instagram. So I shouldn't say that for Facebook's algorithm. So you're gonna flood, kick you off. But yeah, so we will be open, and we'll be posting more about that. But
so people can come in and see the art after the 6th.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Hit me with all your questions.
I just wanna shout out one more time to make sure to check out the social media, right? But I'm sure my man Albert is gonna probably put it across the screen or something like that. But so on Facebook you can type in CB Art Culture, and that's our tag on Facebook, or you could just type in Create and Be Art Studio, and on Instagram we're also CB Art Culture. And our email is cbartculture@gmail.com.
And we're signing off.
Y'all have anything you want to say? You want to shout out personal Instagrams?
We already did.
You did? You didn't.
Oh, I shouted it out for her. Excuse me.
It's up to you.
Well, I'm shot by Syl. That's shot like SHOT by BY. Syl SYL. And the mic goes to you.
Namu.visions and then NAMU and then visions VIS IONS. That's all.
At Natt on Canvas, NATTON Canvas, CANAV. Wait, I
What?
spelled that way wrong. CANVAS. I'm tired. It's late. I just want to say thank you to my man Albert Shivers with the.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Man. Thank
Seriously,
you, man.
we are so appreciative
Planet
of this
Shivers.
opportunity.
Hashtag.
Being on Planet Shivers, it is something that I obviously haven't personally experienced. I don't know about Namu. This is Courtney's second podcast that she's been on. Oh. So with that being said,
you know.
I know. Okay.
Planet Shivers. It has like a.
Has a ring to it. But no, seriously, we're so appreciative. Like, this is definitely, it's a whole
That's
vibe.
Lit.
Like,
that's why the podcast has to be here. Because you have to come, you have to enter this whole crazy world.
I'm glad we did it here.
Shivers, yes.
It feels like I'm in the living room and I feel like, yo, what time is it? And I'm just like, wait, it feels real early.
Yeah, we was here for a minute. That was a good podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It kept you late.
Wow.
Planet Shivers.
You acted like it ended.
Oh, what the? What?
She said, yeah, that was a great podcast. Yeah.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Planet Shivers. You can find this episode and more on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, the podcast app, as well as on YouTube with video footage. Everybody's Instagram handles can be found in the info section on any of those platforms.